All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're popping the hood on a seriously technical piece of trading machinery, the OB Scalper EA version 2.0. You know, if you've ever wondered how algorithmic trading systems actually process market data, or how they manage risk without human emotion messing everything up, well, you are in the right place. We're breaking down the exact manual of this incredibly fascinating automated trading robot.
To make this dense manual super easy to digest, we've broken the whole thing down into 5 key parts: core logic, inputs and presets, risk and defense, optimal assets, and finally, a bit of troubleshooting.
So let's kick things off with part 1, core logic, the brain of the machine.
Before you turn the key on any algorithm, you really need to understand exactly how it thinks, right? You absolutely never want to run a black box system where you're just guessing about the foundational strategy it's using with your hard-earned capital. Well, the OB Scalper EA doesn't just guess. Its brain is hardwired with a strict methodology called the Smart Money Concept, or SMC. Basically, this is a high-probability strategy that actively tracks massive institutional capital movements to find strategic entries. The bot is literally scanning the charts, hunting for very specific large-scale institutional footprints so it can just ride their coattails.
And the engine follows a super strict 3-step sequence to do this. Step 1, it looks for a liquidity sweep. That's where the price breaks a swing high or low to clear out retail stop losses. And amazingly, the algorithm actually uses a 50-bar memory lookback. That means it remembers these sweeps even if the price takes a long time to react. Step 2, it waits for an origin retracement. The price has to return to the exact order block, which is essentially just a massive cluster of institutional limit orders that started that initial move. And finally, step 3, the entry. The price has to enter that order block, show a clear rejection, and only then will the bot open a trade in the opposite direction. Honestly, it's incredibly patient.
Moving right along to part 2, inputs and presets. Think of this as the nervous system.
Now that we know how it thinks, let's talk about its controls. And what's truly staggering here is this massive number. This single expert advisor has over 70 different input parameters. That's a level of customization that honestly feels a bit like sitting in the cockpit of a commercial airliner. I mean, it controls everything from timeframes down to the visual rectangle colors on your charts.
Because of that massive complexity, the manual actually gives a pretty stern warning. Unless you really want to spend days manually configuring 70 different dials and switches, do yourself a massive favor. Just load the provided .set preset files. These files instantly snap all 70+ settings right into their mathematically optimized positions.
By loading those presets, you're automatically configuring some vital nervous system functions. For instance, it sets up the magic number, which is just a unique ID, so the bot only manages its own trades. It defaults the entry time frame to the ultra-fast 1-minute chart. It activates the session filter to strictly restrict trading to high-volume hours. And, crucially, it deploys a spread filter, ensuring the bot blocks any entries if your broker's spread randomly spikes. It really is a fully automated command center.
All right, part 3, risk and defense, your digital bodyguards.
Look, an algorithm is literally only as good as its defense mechanisms. And you have 2 distinct bodyguards for stop losses here. You could use SL_fixed_pips, which is just your traditional static stop loss, but the dynamic SL_OB_edge, that is fascinating. It actually adapts to the market structure. It hides your stop loss safely behind the edge of the active order block, and it even adds a buffer of a few extra pips just to prevent your trade from being tagged out by some random annoying price wick.
To truly maximize that dynamic stop loss, the manual suggests pairing it with the risk_% method. By doing this, the EA automatically calculates your exact lot size based on that shifting stop loss distance. So whether your stop is 10 pips away or 20 pips away, the bot does the complex math instantly. You only ever risk your exact predefined percentage, say exactly 1% of your account per trade.
Plus, the EA features this highly advanced news filter that acts like a total blast shield. Turn it on and the bot connects to an economic calendar to watch for high-impact news. It'll automatically pause all trading in the minutes right before and after a major economic drop. For ultimate safety, there's even a toggle to automatically close your open trades right before the impact hits, getting you completely out of harm's way. How cool is that?
Which brings us to part 4, optimal assets. Let's look at the algorithm's diet.
This machine is built to run on high-octane fuel, and based on the algorithmic parameters, it has to be tuned completely differently depending on the asset. Just consider standard forex pairs like EURUSD. It needs a 3.0 pip sweep and a 10 pip order block move. Contrast that with Bitcoin, which requires a massive 40 pip sweep and a 150 pip order block move, just to account for crypto's absolutely wild volatility. But pay attention to that gold configuration. The manual explicitly states its absolute peak performance comes from trading gold on the 1-minute chart.
Now, when you're running that aggressive gold profile, the manual gives a really counterintuitive instruction. It tells you to target a massive 7.0 risk-to-reward ratio, but then says to turn off partial closers and break-even stop losses. I know, usually traders absolutely love securing partial profits, but the data suggests that for M1 Gold, letting the algorithm breathe and hit its full target without any human interference actually yields the maximum mathematical profit.
Finally, Part 5, Troubleshooting. Let's open up the Mechanics Guide.
Because let's be real, when you hand your capital over to a robot, any unexpected behavior causes instant panic. Here's the first common scenario. You turn the EA on, everything looks totally fine, but the system logs are telling you it can't find a single order block. Your chart is totally empty of those visual blue and red rectangles, and you might start thinking the engine is just completely broken.
I promise, it's not broken. Your settings are probably just way too strict for the current market conditions. The fix is super simple. Just go into the nervous system and lower the OB_min_move pips setting. By doing this, you're basically telling the bot to relax its criteria a bit and recognize slightly smaller impulse moves as valid order blocks.
Okay, the second most common panic. Waking up, seeing the market moving beautifully, but realizing your bot hasn't taken a single trade. You check the dashboard, and it's flashing a bright red NFP no trade day, or high impact news warning.
Once again, this is just the machine protecting you. NFP stands for non-farm payroll, which is one of the most volatile economic events in the world, and it regularly wipes out retail traders. Now, while you can technically go into the settings and switch off those news filters to force it to trade, the manual highly recommends you just step back. Leaving them on is the ultimate safety feature for the long-term survival of your account.
But wait, what if you're watching the charts and that news filter is deploying its blast shields and shutting down your trades at the entirely wrong time of day? Like completely out of sync with the actual global news schedule.
The fix for this is incredibly simple, but it is absolutely critical. You must accurately input your specific broker's GMT offset and their daylight savings time status. See, brokers operate in different time zones all around the world. If you don't sync the bot's internal clock with your specific broker's server time, the EA is basically flying blind, deploying its shields totally at random.
So everything we've unpacked today really just loops back to this one foundational mandate from the manual. The OB Scalper is a strictly disciplined, high-probability machine. It is quite literally designed to wait for the liquidity sweep, wait for the origin retracement, and wait for that precise rejection.
This algorithm is purposefully built to be a cold, emotionless, and highly calculated executor of the smart money concept. Which leaves us with one final, kind of provocative question as you consider algorithmic trading. This machine clearly has the discipline to wait for the perfect setup, but do you have the discipline to step back, keep your hands off the mouse, and just let it do its job?